The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Radio with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. And now, here is Jonathan Marks.
Hey, this is Jonathan Marks, and welcome back to another session of Go to Health. And we hope you are going to health. I'm here today with a very special guest. You know, when we think about mental health disorders, we often think about psychotherapy or we think about taking medication, but there's actually really a whole new range of lifestyle interventions that we want to be talking about today that can help people who have mental health problems. And I want to introduce to you Dr. Josep Antoni Ramos-Quiroga. He's the head of the Department of Psychiatry at Vall University Hospital in Barcelona, and he's also the professor of psychiatry at the Autonomous University of Barcelona in Barcelona, Spain. And finally, he's also part of the steering committee of the 18 University Hospital research program that's going on right now called Eat to Be Nice, and the website is at newbrainnutrition.com. Welcome, Dr. Quiroga. How are you?
Fine. Thank you, Jonathan, for the invitation and to be with you today.
Wonderful. I know you have a special interest in neurodevelopmental orders. Can you tell us more about the non-medical approaches to working with people who have mental health disorders?
Yes, of course, Jonathan. First of all, I would like to say that when we are talking about mental health disorders, or a lot of people are having this dichotomy between biological aspects or social or environmental aspects as a very specific for mental disorders, this dichotomy. And that is the same situation that we have with other medical conditions, with asthma condition, for example, with cardiovascular diseases. And for many, many, many years, also the doctors working on oncology, cardiovascular diseases, they point out the relevance, the importance of these social lifestyle factors. And also that is the same for us in mental health disorders, especially, for example, aspects that are very irrelevant and in some part are part of the disease itself, are all the aspects related with the sleep health or related with the sleep in general. Mainly that is very, very important, for example, for depression or affective disorders. You have a very good prevention of the sleep, the right number of hours per day sleep, and sleep well with quality. That is one of the very important aspects. And here in Spain, we have a lot of problems with this topic with adolescents because they are using a lot of smartphones, a lot of iPads, tablets, and the light of this screen are not the best for the quality of the sleep. And that is a huge problem that we have today.
So what would be your recommendation for when we should turn off our phones and tablets to get a good night's sleep?
To be disconnected some points of the day, it's part of the very good health, habits in mental health. The other is obviously we need to rest as minimum a period of time, 30 minutes before to go to sleep, sure. And also to try in this last period of moments to decrease the intensity of the light on the screen. For that, it's important because a lot of devices, a lot of smartphones or tablets, they have this option to decrease the intensity of the light, the bright light.
So what you're really saying is that before a good night's sleep, we need to really prepare ourselves for a good night's sleep and not just expect to get in bed and turn off the mind, huh?
Sure.
Got
exactly. That is
Got it. So tell me what other factors are useful in working if you have mental health issues or you know somebody who does, what other factors are important in life?
In general, perhaps it's difficult to say what is the most important. I started with the sleep because I think it's important not only for mental health, it's also important also for oncology problems or oncological disorders, because it's related with more risk of cancer if we are sleeping less than 7 hours per day. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
But
I did not know that. The relationship
that is
between not enough sleep and oncology. Wow. I
that
didn't
is
know
because
that.
the oxidative stress, all the effects on our reparation of the gene aspects, it's also essential by night. But it's difficult to say what is the most important. But now in the time that we are living with COVID-19 pandemic, one of the most important factors, for example, for the prevention of depression, is to have a good relationships, a good social relationship around us. You have people that we can talk about our matters, about our issues, about our problems, to share, and to have people with a lot of confidence with that. And also to have social relationship in general. That is one of the most powerful aspects in order to prevent depression. And that was tested in a use meta-analysis, testing a lot of factors that were related with the risk or not of depression. And this aspect of to having people of confidence and to have relationships, social relationship in terms of the families, friends, etc. Right. It's one of the most powerful in terms to prevent depression.
Got it. And we had so much isolation during COVID.
In general, across the world, the period of time with more impact is during this time of the adolescent. And during the adolescent, social relationship is one of the most critical aspects in terms to psychological performance, in terms to adquiring new values in general. And that was dramatically affected by the restrictions and by the COVID in general, not only for the restrictions, because the restriction was in terms to save lives. That is one of the costs that we have on the table now.
I know in the United States, teenager suicides went up tremendously. Did that happen in Spain as well?
We have the same issue here in Catalonia, in Spain. We found, for example, during the last year, an dramatic increase of the more than 200% of the suicide, tentatives of suicide in young girls specifically.
That's sad. So with social relationships, sleep, what else?
As you said before, I am working inside of this awesome project, the Eat to Be Nice, and we found a lot of evidences that the quality and the profile of our diet could have an impact on the quality of the inattentive symptoms for ADHD specifically, but also for depression and anxiety. And this combination of the diet and the profile of microbiota, the organisms that we have in our gut, are essential also for the maintain of the attention, to control our impulsivity, for example. And in this sense, it's interesting because there are more and more and more evidences that show us that, for example, this profile of a Mediterranean diet is related with a decrease of some inflammation or inflammatory factors in our body in general. And also, it's important to remember that these disorders, depression, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia, autism spectrum disorder, or ADHD also, they have an impact on this balance in the inflammatory factors in our brain. And these inflammatory factors can have a brain damage at the end. And the type of diet that we have can increase this inflammatory damage against our brains.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I've kind of learned, that inflammation is the major factor, and that you can actually eat non-inflammatory foods. There are inflammatory foods and there are non-inflammatory foods, correct?
And the bad news is that, for example, a lot of beef, hamburgers, pizza, or this kind of products, there are inflammatory foods. But on the other hand, we have broccoli, we have vegetables, we have fruits in general. They decrease this inflammatory damage against the brain.
Toni, there's another area that I know is very important that you've talked about, and that's the degree to which we get physical exercise. How does physical exercise help our brains?
Yes, and that also is all of these aspects that we are talking are based in a very rigorous trials with a very rigorous methodology. And this minimum of to having around 30 minutes per day during 3-4 times per week, it's absolutely positive with the same idea, decreasing this inflammatory profile and increasing also the brain damage that we can have in our hippocampus, that is also related with the risk of Alzheimer or neurodegenerative disorders. Just the last week appears an awesome paper also combining the serum, the blood of mice doing a physical exercise. If you put this blood to mice that are very sedentary without any physical exercise, these mice with the blood of mice doing exercise increase the performance in terms of cognitive performance. And for that, this is absolutely essential for us to have this physical exercise, not only a few days per week, but to have a very consecutive training.
Wow, that's incredible. You can take the blood from a mouse that's doing a lot of exercise and put it into a mouse that's not doing exercise, and their cognitive functioning improves. Amazing.
Yes, that is. and also it's interesting because the same type of methodology was tested about the microbiome, the bacteria that we have in our gut.
Yes.
When you are introducing these bacteria in other mice, non-obese mice, you can develop the obesity in these other mice, or you can develop inattentive symptoms, or you can develop depressive symptoms. Wow. And for that, we know that these factors are also important. And at the end, if you pay attention, Jonathan, we are talking, the final point is always talking about immunity. And that is the point, that the stress is a huge damage, or represent a huge damage to our brain, because the stress increases the immunity attack to our brain. And for that, all of these styles of life with a positive diet, to maintain a physical exercise, to maintain close relations, social relationships, and also to have time, correct time to sleep, and a correct time to pay attention around you, to your present, not only to your past, and also only focus on your future, to be present. That is also essential, because it's a way to reduce, in general, our stress.
Got it. Good. Toni, I know you have another interest, which is technological innovation, and you are the president of the Innovation Commission at the University Hospital there in Barcelona. Can you tell us some of the work you're doing there?
We are using a new device that we can have virtual reality in an immersive way, an application that you can find on the Apple Store and also on the Google Play. It's an app. The name is Emotional Management. It's in English, in Spanish, and in Catalan. And this was absolutely developed during the lockdown in order that people at the street can test the symptoms of depression or anxiety. And also, you have 17 instruments in order to decrease for themselves this anxiety or depression.
So Toni, that's fabulous. So you're talking about virtual reality glasses so you can put yourself into an environment that reduces stress. And then you also talked about this emotional management app. Toni Ramos, I'm so glad to have talked with you today. We're talking with Dr. Josep Antoni Ramos-Quiroga, MD. He's the head of the Department of Psychiatry at Vall University Hospital. You can find out an awful lot about this on our website at newbrainnutrition.com.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for the awesome job that you are doing with Go to Health. Me as well to be with you and to participate in this program. Thank you so much for the invitation,
Toni,
Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Toni. Toni Ramos-Quiroga from Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Radio. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time and 12 noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.